Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency market. And if you just landed here, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Be really appreciated. Help a brother grow his channel a little bit. Slow growth, but I'm expecting that right now, guys. I don't expect this channel to take off because I am not in the majority. I would have to really become a different person to be like that. So, and I don't want to be like that. Okay. Um, I want to win in the markets. I don't want to lose in the markets, and the majority don't win. That's a fact, guys. Did you know that? That's a fact. Majority don't win. It's interesting to note there are people that bought Bitcoin in 2015, and how many of them are underwater? Okay. So that's gives you an idea on a trend like this, where they bought Bitcoin in 2015, guys, when it was $340 and they're underwater. Isn't that astounding? That should tell you something about how brutal the markets can be on an obvious uptrend on Bitcoin. I just found that is just, to me, is amazing. That would have probably been me in the 1990s, guys. This is Cardano. Sorry about that. So it looks like Bitcoin decided to pull the old flat move, fake out flat move. Could have a little bit more upside, possibly, guys. I think so, but it's not your nice 3-3, boom, 5. Yeah, get everybody bullish again, guys. That's what flats do. They like to. That's why I call them fake out flats. They go up and they go down. So this whole area, wherever that's going to end up, I think that's it. There's a resistance there. There's also a supply area right over there. It's all fitting for that area. Like I said, it could push up to 28.6, but remains to be seen. We'll see wherever it ends. It's going to end somewhere in that area, and I think it's going to make another one of these treks right back down, guys, in a complex correction. So this over here is your first part of your correction, and then ABC. This is your connector area, and then you'll have another one of these, something similar like this over here. So however long this took, okay, however long that takes, and you're looking at 27, 28 days is how long it's going to take over here. So you see this, I find this interesting. I told you guys I had algorithms. So here's, I told you I had algorithms that are saying the 3rd or 4th week of June. And I put the date time over here. And look at that, the 25th of June, right at the end of June. They're supposed to be coming up to finish something over here. So looks like they're going to be fairly accurate. And it'll be doing that move right over here. So it'd be difficult to say, but you could, your move, see your move's kind of like maybe 3-wave-ish like that. You'll probably, this will be the connector wave right there, like that, guys, okay? And by the way, I'm going to go over a coin that I'm really bullish on at the end of the video, okay? At the end of the video, that I think is going to be, it's not going to be a trade. I think it's going to be a long-term hold for me going into the rest of the time. So I'm going to go over that for a second, and the reason why I'm bullish on that. So you got something like that, and you can see right there, 28th, 29th of June, guys. Okay. Could it come out to the 5th of July? It could. Could it end at the 20th of June? It could. It's a general ballpark area. So then at that point, right? At that point, once it's down here, then you're going to be like, okay, what is it going to do over here? Okay. What's it going to do over there? All right. You don't want to see that correction extended. You don't want to see extension on something like that, because then, now you're looking at something a lot longer. I don't know what it's going to do down there, guys. I'm telling you straight up. I don't know if it's going to be a counter trend move to continue the correction. The hopium strategy is that it's going to be, that's going to finish it up there. Okay. It's going to depend probably on the NASDAQ and the TradFi markets. And what I wanted to do is I want to go over Bitcoin on the longer term timeframes again with you. So the one I'm going to go over here is Bitcoin. And I was looking at it on a 2-month chart, trying to get an idea of how much more is Bitcoin going to be going on here on a bullish trend before it has to complete a whole cycle. That's a good question. But if this is so based on this 2-month chart, you can see here's your highest peak right here, right? And here's a peak, that's highest peak, and there's a lower peak. if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there would be one more back here, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more like that. I think there's one more right here like this, guys, over here. Boom. Okay. I still have targets on Bitcoin. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. They're uber bullish on Bitcoin, but I'm talking about this wave run. I'm not talking like 5 years down the road or 2030 or something like that. I'm talking about this wave run for Bitcoin. It's going to probably be landing somewhere between 60K ish to 72K ish, somewhere in that area, in my opinion. It might get all the way up to 80. I don't know. We'll see, but something like that on this wave run. Okay. So that's what I'm planning for so far until I have data that points to something different. And that's what it's pointing to. Not pointing to 10K yet. Nothing like that. Not yet. And that is going to depend on the NASDAQ, guys. So the NASDAQ, right? It's going to depend on the NASDAQ. I made a video about this. These are the monthly Bollinger Bands. And we'll pay attention to the NASDAQ. I think it's going to be coming up for a correction. One of the things is kind of like what you want to do with the markets, right? So you have the NASDAQ and everybody's like really freaking out. And because only 8 tech stocks are really blasting off. You have your NVIDIA, you have your Google, Tesla, and they're all taking off. Facebook, Netflix took off last year, and it looks like it's still going up. Things like that, right? And they're like, oh, the small cap stocks, man, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting back. It's just so bearish back there, you know, in the back of the tech stocks, things like that. That's how bull markets start, guys. So like, it's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? You go over to Bitcoin, which one takes off first? It's Bitcoin. All the altcoins are down, hanging out on the bottom, a lot of them, right? And then eventually they all start taking off a little bit later. It's the same thing over here, guys. Like you can I could turn that and go, oh yeah, you're right, man. Like you have 8 stocks that are really, really bullish. And then you have these other small cap and medium cap stocks and financial stocks. They're all down in the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, you're right, man. It must be a bear market bounce because of that statistic, if you will, right? Okay. Well, that statistic can be flipped and say, well, based on previous history, every time they came out of a bottom, well, the big cap, you know, the ones that the larger cap stocks, the ones that were safer, if you will, in the tech arena, is that those stocks are safer and they go into those first and then they start rotating into the more risky ones, right? They're more risky ones. And then they start taking off, guys. So the money isn't rotated out of them yet. Probably won't for maybe a little while, if you will. It's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? Every cycle, last couple cycles, it was like, okay, Bitcoin was a leader, right? It took off, dominated the market. And then Ethereum, and then eventually all the other alts came right behind it. Okay. It's the same thing. So I think that's really what you want to look, what's going on. So you want to keep an eye on the traditional financial markets. I made a post about this in Twitter where you want the traditional financial markets, okay, the NASDAQ taking off, and you want to start seeing the S&P 500 probably start grinding up a little bit more. You want to see a little bit of that money rotation from NASDAQ going to S&P. And then maybe some of the other like IWM or Russell 2000 kind of trek up a little bit, guys. That's kind of what you want to see, okay? You don't want to see the NASDAQ blast up and then the S&P 500 start going down aggressively at this point right now, guys. So that's what I'd be looking for, okay? And with the NASDAQ here on the monthly Bollinger Bands, and I made a video about this yesterday, and every time that it penetrated, let me clarify this, every time it bounced off the bottom of the monthly Bollinger Bands and penetrated the middle or the mean right here of the monthly Bollinger Bands, it went directly to the top. Out of the 50-year history of the NASDAQ, that's what it did, guys. So I think the NASDAQ is going to be in a correction. It's time for it to cool off and be in a correction probably for the next 30 days or 45 days, right? Kind of like Bitcoin, right? And then it'll get ready to maybe start trending back up in there. So the important thing to know about the NASDAQ is that it's in an uptrend, okay? It's going to have a correction. I think it would be reasonable to expect with all those green monthly candles to expect a correction over here and then trend continuation with the NASDAQ, not just continue to keep blowing up. So I think it's reasonable. So that's what you want to pay attention to with the NASDAQ. And going back over here to Bitcoin, guys, and maybe doing one last hoorah over here. Not one last, I shouldn't say that. Another hoorah up into this area. What I was saying is because I'm looking at the overall chart of Ethereum, and I think Ethereum has a good shot just based on the wave structure that it did in here. So if you take a look at this wave structure on Ethereum, it's Ethereum really doesn't want to correct that deep. I think it's going to have another leg down, obviously, but it's really my data is pointing towards it just doesn't want to come down that much. And not compared, usually if Bitcoin comes down 2 or 3%, Ethereum will go down 4 or 5%, a lot more. And it seems like it's more like a Bitcoin. And there's probably various things that are influencing that too. More people are staking Ethereum. Ethereum is deflationary, which is huge for Ethereum, and which is going to be huge for the altcoins, because if Ethereum is going to be rocking and rolling, you know what that means for some other altcoins. But this whole pattern that I think that Ethereum possibly could be in is going to be similar to the end of what Bitcoin could be doing, like into this pattern over here to finish that off. Is a sim pattern just kind of like this. It just went up into this wave, came back over here to here, corrected back up, and then one last hoorah for a type of leading wedge, if you will. That is what I'm checking out for Ethereum. And it makes more sense to me that it possibly could be doing, just because of this area in here. You take a look at this area, it's like a miniature version of this, like to a T, like how it went up here, did this long correction over here. And like Ethereum is like in this section over here is like this section on Ethereum right now. And it wants to do not one this long, not this one this long, but just another one of these, because this is smaller. So you have a big version of this over here, and it's smaller what it did. So it's making a shorter leg over there, right? Because this is smaller. It's not that big. It's a little bit smaller, and it can make a shorter leg up there. So if Ethereum's going to do that shot up to just breaching those all-time highs right up there at 5,000, 4,800, guys, and then it's going to be, another correction back after that. So that's what I'm kind of checking out with Ethereum that could be going on. It's just been a grind to take off out of here, guys, another grind, because it's setting itself up in this area, kind of like it did over here. I mean, this was a wait. Once it pulled off that wave, it was a long wait too over here, guys, and then boom, 274 days. And then let's see, it didn't break the that high over there for almost, what would that be? 458 days. So that was a long time. That was a year and a half, guys. So you're kind of probably in the same little area over here with Ethereum. And then going over other examples too is Cardano, I believe, is going to be in the same little type of pattern also too, and just struggling to get out of there and make one last move in this pattern that it's going. This is the pattern that I think that Cardano is in, with this massive wave over here, long, massive correction over here, another massive wave over here, and a little bit shorter correction. So that means you're going to have not the big massive wave like that. You're going to have a wave that's going to be a lot shorter than this wave and this wave, because, you just how it's being set up over there, guys. So one last little boom up there with Cardano, guys. And there's some other coins you can look at too. And then, they're older, like maybe, what was the other ones I was looking at? I was going to say Quant Crypto would be another one. It's in a pattern too, to do one last wave, fifth wave move up. So you can check that out. But anyhow, I'm going to go over a coin that I was going to let you guys know about that I'm really, 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 really interested in. I did a little diligence into it. Okay. And it's called GRAPHLinq protocol. And I like the chart that it did. It made a nice move out of there. It's in a supply zone. Could have finished up its correction. It's trading at 0.005, which is half a penny right now. And this is a coin that I'm just kind of debating on whether I want to trade it, or what I'm going to do is just hold on to it through this whole time and let this thing, let it run into the next bull run, if you will. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I like the chart. You guys can go check out the website, what it's doing with Web3. This crypto, they're going to create the tools. So what they're doing is like when Web 2 came out, like when websites came out in the internet age, you had to know coding to build your website. And then as time went on, it came out with Web 2. And then anybody and their brother could build a website, right? It was all like, okay, just drag and drop, and here's my website, and have it up in 5 minutes, right? Like like trying to think of something back then that was doing it where you could get these Web 2 websites and build a whole bunch of these other little cheap websites, right? So this is what they're going to do. I don't think that they have any competition. So Web 3, in my opinion, is the future. And this this will be huge for this company, in my opinion, guys. Fundamentally wise, you can check out some of their stats on their circulating supply, their total supply, their 24-hour fully diluted valuation. It doesn't look too bad. You can dig through it a little bit. You can find some issues with any of these coins. But this, to me, is all the negatives are the positives are outweighing the negatives, if you will, with this coin. They have their small amount, they're not too many people know about them. They did come out in February of 2021 on Twitter. So these followers, if you think about it, most of these followers probably came from the February to November 21 timeframe, right? Think about that. February to November it went down, but then there was a blast off from what was that time frame? Basically September, what was it, about July to November 21, right? So there's a blast off. So most of these followers probably came from that time frame. And it's probably the coin since then is probably flying under the radar. So it's been down in this area. So it's one I'm checking out. Just let you guys know about that I think there's a potential could be pretty good risk to reward ratio on the coin, guys. Okay. I think it's a pretty good deal right here with it. That's all that I wanted to go over, what I was checking out, guys. Like I said, for Bitcoin over here, it's going to be probably another month. Still time frame. Like I said, end of June, third week of June, middle of June. It could go all the way into the first week of July. Of course, once it's done down here in the correction, doesn't mean it comes right down here and does a blast off. It could, but I wouldn't expect it. Like I said, you should be planning, I don't know, 100% that it's going to be going down there. That's just part of the plan that I think that it possibly could be doing. That the probability seems it's going to be doing more of that than it's going to be doing that. However, I don't know if 100%. That's why you have to be prepared for this in case it does do that. I don't think so, but I'm prepared for that, and I'm prepared for this too. So you want to be prepared for both of those. And in the meantime, I'm just not buying any alts, except I'm going to be looking at this one for sure this week. This is the only one I'll be looking at, determining whether I want to get in now, later, what I'm going to do with GRAPHLinq at this time. It does have a nice wave and a nice pullback in this area. That is a supply area. Is it going to come down and hit that fair value gap? It very well could, which would be a pretty significant dip that it has had. It has a 83% dip from that top, guys. So that could be it. Pretty significant dip, but it is a small little cap coin. It could go down to that fair value gap. Boom, right there. That's 89%. So from there to there is another, 56% drop. So you want to be aware of that, guys, on a coin like that. I don't think it's going to be ripping out of there anytime soon, just because what the other rest of the cryptocurrency market is doing, and then with Bitcoin making its trek back down here. Now, a coin like this, some of these smaller coins, they can rip off a wave. If you think about this, right? Here's Bitcoin. Okay. So Bitcoin, you know how some of the altcoins that they were ripping off a wave. So Bitcoin went up into this wave like that, right? And some of the altcoins blasted up, and smaller cap coins blasted up. So same thing can happen again. So it's going to come back down as an example into a downtrend. Boom, boom. They come down a little bit, do their thing. Maybe some break the low. Some of them don't. Some of them just hang out. You know the deal. And then it does another one of these, right? So in that time, a coin like this, it can boom, blast off on another rip over there, guys. So that's what I am doing. And then I'll go over Render Coin, guys. Render Coin is a coin that I put a short in, and the reason why is because of this. Render Coin came up for a massive supply hit. Up top, up here, guys. There's a massive supply hit up there, going up into that wave. And if you think about this, guys, Render Coin has been bullish for 340 for 1 year. For 1 year, guys. So I placed a little bit of a short, and while I was going up, layering in to a render for a trek back down on this coin, guys. So decided to put my money where my mouth is, and it's going to go down. I think you have a good shot. It's going to be going down, but it's typical of everybody aping into this leg, and it getting more views, more tweets on Twitter, right while there's a supply zone right above their heads. Okay, so That's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to go over, let you know what's going on. Like I said, it's probably going to be a boring time, and then this area for crypto on Bitcoin is going to really can Bitcoin do one of these like big drops like one of these over here did back in what was that 2020? It could, guys. I'm not really expecting it yet, but expect the unexpected with Bitcoin. It can drop fast. It usually drops farther than you expect it to go. And but this is going to, the late longs, if you will, the late longs into Bitcoin are really they're going to get crushed. Late longs in everything, late longs into render, late longs into those that haven't taken the profit, late longs into render, late longs into Bitcoin, late longs into Ethereum. They're really going to get crushed, and unfortunately, and that's really going to probably put a little bit more bearish sentiment into Bitcoin. And I think, in my opinion, the sentiment of Bitcoin, the bearishness of it is not there yet. You really want to start hearing once it gets over to this area, you really want that 10K, that storyline. You want that storyline to come back, get people bored, not paying attention to it in this area, and that would be time for a reversal. Boom, and then it takes off without them. So think about that realistically. If they're in here late, any late longs came in like in this area, and then it's going to start doing another trek. So right now there's hope with that flat that went up that they might think it's going to be going up into this area. And it very well could. I could be wrong. So like I said, I could be wrong. But once it starts coming back down again, they're going to sell. More than likely think it's going to be going down to 10K. And then once it gets down to this area, think about that. People are bored out of the market, especially if it makes a move like this, where it's like, okay, this is getting really, really, really boring. And then that area could do a reversal, guys. That's kind of what I'd be checking out, using the psychology of the market, what people are thinking. So expect a lot of negative news coming out for Bitcoin. You'll even hear stuff like Bitcoin's not even going to go to 30K again. You hear that, it's going to 10K. This is it. Oh, whatever story, anything. I can't even think of them all, right? Okay. So get prepared for that. And if you want to watch that, make sure it doesn't influence your mind to make an irrational decision. That's the point. That's the point of the markets. Whatever they're posting on Twitter, in the media, in the news, make sure it doesn't influence your decision to make a logical thought, not emotional thought, because the late longs are going to start making an emotional thought. They made emotional thought from the beginning because they weren't then down here, even here, or here, and they got in over here. And now it's coming down, and the emotions, that's why they got in late, is because they're going by emotions, okay? They're going to believe it, and then boom, boom, boom. Now it's going to come back around, guys. It's just how it is in the markets. That's how it works, guys, for the most part. Majority of participants got in probably, who knows, guys, but that's how I'd be checking out. And I know I'm rambling on a little bit, but let you know that I think that there's one probably, depending on this leg right here with Bitcoin. So you have a couple options on this leg, right? Let me go over that. The key area, once Bitcoin is done right here, and there's going to be two key areas for Bitcoin, okay? There's going to be two key stops if Bitcoin is going to be going on to another trend. It's going to be the 40K right here, this 35K area, okay? Because on the futures chart, there's a gap down there. There's also a gap all the way down here at 20K. I don't know if you guys know that. This is a huge supply zone for Bitcoin at 19 to 21K. Huge, with a gap down there. And then you have this over here, and there's a gap up there on the futures chart, okay? So 35K, 34, 35K, and then it's going to be 48K. If it gets through all those, then it's going to be on target to 60K and probably have a top at about 70K. That's what I would be checking out. But it's just going to depend on what it does here. This is going to determine the future of Bitcoin right here. And then is it going to do, what kind of reversal is it going to do here? So as an example, it could come down here, pop back up, and then boom, do kind of like what it did over here. And that would definitely influence the future of Bitcoin. And also, too, it's going to depend on what old NASDAQ over here is going to do, tech stocks. Because it's going to be big with tech stocks, guys. The reason why is, what are those people that made all the money in the tech stocks? Where are they going to rotate to? Okay. Are they going to be, probably not going to stay in their tech stocks forever, right? They're going to be like, hey, these things are peaking out, man. Now I want to go make more money, right? Which ones are undervalued? Which ones they think are going to be going up? Is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it going to be medium cap tech stack? Are they going to go to healthcare? Are they going to go to the financials? I would be willing to bet some of the smart players, smart money, are probably looking at some of those banking stocks. Hey, just saying. I think about that. You know, those things are at the bottom of the barrel. Looks like they're pretty good deals down there. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.